Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's the May Favorite section, my favorite things, and I just love this particular segment. It makes me come alive. I have a guest in studio, so I'm just going to read for you her profile. It says, Neema is the creative director and founder of WaLove by Design, based in Nairobi, Kenya. Over the past 9 years, WaLove by Design has been on a journey to pursue and unravel the meaning of purposeful fashion. I can't wait to hear more about that. I've engaged in 10 or more fashion shows globally and locally from Paris to Nairobi and discovered the essence of our brand. She then began the journey to pursuing her dream, which is to tell stories through the brand using fashion and film. Interesting. 10 years later, you said you're still on the journey.
Yes.
But along the way, we found small and significant ways to build up to our fashion films. And our current product is Maasai beaded chokers, through which we're telling the story of sisterhood. You're passionate about empowering others. Through the journeys, they are navigating their creative uniqueness, finding out, I guess, their creative uniqueness. And you do this through creative coaching. That's very interesting. With the intention to help you thrive with contentment. To date, you've mentored over 30 girls and hope to mentor many more. And in your spare time, you enjoy swimming, outdoor activities, and analyzing music and films. Wow. Neema WaLove, welcome to Just Angie.
Thank you so much.
Wow, it's just amazing to even just hear about this amazing profile.
Thank
and
you.
who you are.
Thank you.
Is there anything that was left out? How else do you want them to know you?
No, I think that sums it up. I think that sums it up
properly.
Yes, yes.
You're amazing. I'm just loving your creativity.
Thank you.
Your hair, your fashion sense.
I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start with it. So why Purposeful Fashion? How did it start? Maybe how did it start?
Oh, wow. Okay. Where do I even begin? I think I can begin with just how I grew up.
Okay.
I can begin with how high school, you know. In high school, I think I've always known I'm a creative child.
Okay.
So in high school, I remember doing fashion. Part of my art exam was doing a fashion outfit. So I did, what was it? A wedding dress inspired by Africa.
Wow.
And I chose a sunflower and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Sunflowers. Was it yellow?
It was yellow and orange with a bit of black. And I was like, this is exciting. And so I told my parents, I think I know what I want to do. I want to do fashion. And they're like, wow, okay, that's nice. That's really nice. But because of how things are looking, economically, we suggest you pick something else and then use fashion as a hobby. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Okay. So I applied to a university in Nairobi to go study electronic media.
Oh my God! Oh, electronic media.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what my plan B was, because at the end of the day, I still knew I had an interest in film. So I was like, yes. So I was like, let me try this. So flash forward to about 1 year in that space, I was not present for it because it was not enjoyable at all.
Really?
It was not enjoyable at all. Or I kept on. Even in my books, behind my books, I was sketching and drawing in class. In class, yes, in class. Wow. So I'd be in formal classes, but that's all I'll be doing, thinking of fashion and everything. So I remember going home and telling my parents, "Listen, Mom, like my mom is one person who really enjoys what she does." So I told her, "Mom, you see the joy you come back with, and you have so much excitement, doing what you love. That's what I want for myself, and I don't feel like." That's what this is doing. Yes, this is not coming out for me. So my mom is like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure. What
they're trying to do is offer you a better
future.
Exactly. You can come here with all your amazing ideas, but what we want to do is ensure you have a solid future.
Exactly. And so it took her and my dad, I think, coming together and just saying, okay, you know what, let's try. Let's just allow her. So I left that university. I went into fashion school. I went to Mackenzie School of Fashion.
Oh, I know Mackenzie.
Yes, and we were the first cohort of the school.
Oh.
And so we graduated in 2013. And I think one significant moment I remember is in my class, which was being taught by Sally Karago. Yeah, and she was teaching us about fashion research. And she asked all of us in the class, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for in the industry? And I remember thinking, I don't know. And I told her Purposeful Fashion, and she asked me, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
And I was like, I don't know.
But I'm going to find out.
But that's what I want to do. And I was like, okay, let me try and figure out what that looks like. So I remember I left and I did internship. And in my internship, I remember just really enjoying the research part of fashion, you know, just coming up with designs, the research, like how do I get inspired? So for example, I look at these flowers and I'm like, oh, I love these flowers, the orange, the green. But what else can I find in my environment that's orange and green?
Really?
And just doing that research, I really enjoyed that part. So I was like, okay, at least I know that. And so one of the opportunities I had was to do a fashion show for upcoming designers for Swahili Fashion Week. So the person we're interning with told us apply, and this is the best way to start your career. This is the best way. Yes, yes.
Swahili Fashion Week.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
This is the best way to start putting yourself out there and trying to understand what it is exactly you want to do. So I applied and I went for the fashion show. It was nerve-wracking because it was my first time. I didn't know what to expect. And then even I remember with the piece I had created, there was just so much drama with it because we forget we were going to an environment that was humid. So I remember my dress, and it had a lot of paint, my dress removing it from the suitcase, and it was stuck. Was stuck together because of the heat. So I was like, okay, there's no other choice but we have to get on the runway. So thank God I still had spray paint and we tried to just fix it and still went on the runway. Thank God I came out second. And for that,
well done, you got second.
I got second. So I was like, okay,
congratulations.
That's for all the drama that was still there. For
it
that,
was worth it.
It was worth
it. Second.
Yeah.
Wow, well
so I
done.
remember doing a couple of more fashion shows now when I came back, and just clarity that this is what I want to do. I think I want to create. I want to be part of the process of creating, but I just don't want to end in just creating. You know, as I look at as being a fashion designer, I wanted to be able to say that, yeah, you wore my clothes, that's nice, but how do I impact your life? You know, how do I leave you with more than just clothes? So I was like, how do I even start doing that? So I remember thinking, I was with a friend who's also a makeup artist, and we were thinking together, and she's like, why don't you come up with a project? You design, I do the makeup, and let's bring reason, and let's bring purpose to the project. And I was like, okay, so what does that look like? And so even in my research, I think that was the exciting thing, because I think in research, then you find out more about even just an item. So for example, for that specific collection, we were looking at the twisted tree. And
a twisted tree?
The tree that from the roots.
Twist, yeah, I can even see it in my vision.
Yes, we started looking at that, and we started thinking, what can we do with that, and what does that say about where we are at with the society? So we're like, first of all, that's the environment. So that's life on land. And that time, the SDGs were a big deal. They had just been launched.
Wow.
And then the elephants were on their way out. So everyone was like, let's save the elephants. So we're like, okay, there it is. We try and focus our project on the SDGs. But most importantly, how do we get the youth to be more interested in these SDGs, but give them a reason, may it come from a place of reason and purpose. And so we are like, let's create a fashion film from that. So we started approaching corporates, we started, doing the whole thing. I got a team of a bunch of many people. I think we almost reached 50 people of a team. And not that we had sponsorship, but I was like, this is what we're doing. And I remember, sometimes when God gives you a dream, you have this assumption that it's to start now and immediately. And I need to do it
a good one.
now. And so that was my mentality. It's like, he's given me the vision, so I move now. But at that point, if there's one thing I know, I didn't have the experience. I was young. I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the exposure. I didn't have the understanding of what it means to even look for sponsorship. So I got the perfect team. I got everyone. But I think the one question I remember as we approached corporates was, have you done this before?
And you said no.
And the thing was no. Have you done a film like this?
No, but.
Yes, but we can do it.
Film, we're also doing film?
Yes, it was now a fashion film.
It was a fashion film?
It was a fashion film where we're now trying to tell a story through garments and clothes, trying to tell, give the youth a different perspective of the environment and the wildlife and how we can
And film they'll watch.
Yes, film they'll watch, and had music, it had nice clothes and everything. So I remember leaving that season extremely discouraged because I was, no one wanted to take a chance on the project.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I think it's part of the journey in hindsight.
Part of the process,
yes,
and part of the
in
learning.
hindsight, yes. And so I think what that experience did for me is just unlock the reason for why I do what I do. It started the journey of understanding what does purpose look like for my brand. And so one of the things I did is I went to for a fashion incubation, and where I took my business was under their company, and I was just trying to.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
Fashion incubation.
Yes.
You submitted the brand under somebody else.
Under somebody else.
That's amazing. Powerful.
Yes, and so they were just trying to help me break down the big dream, because I'm an A to Z person compared to an A, B, C, D person.
Yeah, the process.
Yes,
of how we're going to get there.
I was like, processes.
That's really good.
No, I'm
but we need process. That's why the people ask you, have you done this before? No.
You're like, no. So I just jumped to the dream, and then like, there's a journey, sis, and I'm like, okay. So in that space, I think they helped me just break down the brand, and they asked me, what do you want to be known for? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why a fashion film? Is there a way you can backtrack that? You know, how can you take that journey and start it small? And those were hard words for me to hear, because I'm like, small. You
didn't want to start small?
No, I wanted to just run. I just wanted to arrive immediately. That's what I wanted. But the reality on the table was I needed to, yes, exactly. And I needed to just learn what that looks like. And so in the incubation, I remember one of the things they asked me to do is just break down the dream. Give yourself years. Don't give yourself 1 month, or 1 year. Break this dream into 10 years or 15 years.
That's amazing.
So that then you can start the journey slowly. So they're like, what's the first step? And they're like, what do you like to do? So I'm like, create a collection. And then we see from there where you want to take it. Do you want to sell? Do you want to do more shows? But you have to break down the story, you know.
So create a collection first.
Yes, fast.
Before we create the film.
Yes.
Even. See where we're going.
Yes.
So we create a collection first.
Exactly.
We'll do the film, but first we create the collection.
Exactly.
I love that. And so was the collection around like art pieces, clothes, or art pieces? Or?
They were around clothes. So now I still use the Twisted Tree as inspiration, because I was still in that season. So I was like, let me just use the inspiration we've used for this fashion film and put it onto the clothes. So in essence, do a wearable collection, because now those...
We're still with the Twisted Tree.
Yes. That wearable because those pieces were not wearable, they were art pieces. They were just
there's some
creativity.
Art look like you're like,
So
even some fashion shows, I'm like, Jesus,
who's going to wear that? Exactly.
You see, I'm like, but no, don't give me practical pieces.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, so I did a practical collection, and they're like, okay, so give us the story behind us. Give us more understanding of what your brand is about. So I just kept on saying it's Purposeful Fashion. What does that mean, Neema? I'm just like, I don't know, but all I know is I want people to be impacted by either the clothes they wear, the pieces they wear. When they see the brand, they see the meaning behind it. And they're like, you do know that takes time, right? I'm like, yeah. But can you give me an estimate to how long this is gonna take, you know? And so that was a process, and that opened the door for me now to go to apply for, you know, fashion show. And so that's how I went to Paris and Ethiopia.
You applied now for another fashion?
Yes, now I applied. So I kept on just applying for different fashion shows.
And when you say apply, it's to be an entrant?
Yes.
So to participate in a fashion show?
Yes, to showcase your collection, and an opportunity for you to be met by investors.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the purpose? So investors and buyers.
Yes,
so people can buy your pieces.
Yes.
And then they can invest in your brand.
Yes. They can invest in your brand, or just be excited by your brand, which again...
Just be excited by the brand is not helping us.
But you see, that's the thing.
Oh, excited by the brand, and then now we do what after that?
Those are the things now you go back and you learn that those are the things they never told you about being in the fashion industry, is that not everything you attend or every fashion show you do will bring you the expectations that you think you're going to receive. So e.g. sales... e.g. investment, or you get investment and they're not as legit as they say they are.
Oops.
They end up being
dodgy people.
Yes.
So what did you do in Paris? So
in Paris, I showcased my collection. I represented the country.
The Twisted one.
Yes, the collection, and I also represented in Ethiopia. It was the same fashion show, so they had it. UNESCO in Paris, and then the AU in Ethiopia. And so we were just all representing different countries. So I was representing Kenya, and so I just showcased some of my old collections in Ethiopia, and then for Paris I showcased the new one. And so I remember getting somebody who's really interested in the brand and said they wanted again to invest. So those are the small things that excite you, you know. Honestly, they help you.
Like
exactly.
It's a good thing, at least.
Yeah, they help you even just...
Mom knows you're going to eat.
Yeah. They're going to help you just step into the excitement of this actually something worth, you know, holding on to. There's something exciting about this brand, you know, what I'm doing. So yeah, so that's what happened, and I came back thinking I've not received the sales that I wanted. I've not received everything.
Because they didn't buy the items.
Exactly. I've not received everything that I wanted, but at least I've gathered interest and everything. So how can I make this brand smaller in a way that it's people can collect small pieces, you know, compared to many clothes or buying clothes, because at that point there was no movement in my clothes system. So I'm like, how do I make smaller items that people can just pick? And so that's how I started doing jewelry.
The jewelry.
Yes, which was also part of our collections, because with every garments that we had, we still had jewelry on the runway with the clothes and everything. So it's like small pieces, but I'm like, we need more reason to it. And so at that point, I was like, the way we had found reason behind the fashion film, I was like, what reason can we give our chokers? And that was sisterhood. And that's a big one for me, because my own relationship with my mother, my own relationship with my sister and my cousins and my friends was room enough for me to create more stories and more inspiration, you know, to keep telling the story. And that also birthed now the fashion film we're working on right now.
You're working on one now? Yes,
before we even get to the one I'd originally started, which I will do eventually, but now we're working on another one which is smaller than, of course, the bigger one. But it's really helped me just walk the process, you know.
That's what I love.
And
your story is about process.
Yes.
and I don't want to say dumbing down, because that's what I hear about. You know, stress God gives me, I don't say dumbing down, but like stepping down. Let's step this vision up. This is the bigger vision.
Yes.
Let's step it down. And I heard one person teaching about vision. It was actually Dorcas. And she was saying, when you're doing vision, sometimes you have to zoom in, then you zoom out. So there's this zoom out larger picture, but then there's coming in. But from your story, I'm really feeling, first of all, process is important.
Yes,
I don't know how young you are, but you young people need process. Process is very important.
Yes.
But also, I'm fascinated with the fact that you're making the vision smaller in order to go bigger. I think that's very powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're making a smaller fashion film?
Yes, a smaller fashion film. So my inspiration behind that is now, in between that now, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to speak to women if I have no experience. If I've not sat down with girls, I've not sat down. So I got into mentorship. So I joined a company called Neema Kenya, which I'm also what do you call it? An alumni.
An alumni.
I'm alumni.
Oh, you also went to New Dawn?
Yeah, I also went through New Dawn in my teenagehood. So I joined as a mentor, and I started mentoring the girls. So I've done that since 2017. And so
I think it's the same program my daughter went through.
She also went through New Dawn.
She went through New Dawn. It was really good.
Yes.
It helped her with values. Where you go with a group of friends?
Yes, a group of friends,
through it.
Common values, and that. So I think through that, it's helped me even just see what the youth who are ahead of us are going through and processing, and it's helped me even just understand that. So, and then also being with my friends, and at the same time also mentoring even older girls. I also mentor for Ghetto Classics for the girls there, for the girls side. And so that has helped me even just understand that. So the fashion film is inspired by the emotional transitions women go through.
Emotional challenges that women go through?
Yes, between the ages of 16 and 28. So which have to do with self-esteem, which have to do with purpose, which have to do with friendships, relationships, and relationship with God, you know, just a wholesome, yes thing, and just inspired by fashion. So we're working towards that. So before we can do that, that's why now we're doing the small pieces. So in essence, we're telling the story before you can even know these are fashion films. Just so even through the pieces, then we have conversations with girls and women, where we sit down and just have conversations about the different things we're struggling with and processing, so that those behind us can have some evidence or some nuggets they can pick, you know, as they go through life. So yeah, that's the process. That's far.
Amazing. Yes. And I have to come back to mommy question. So is mom okay?
Yeah,
Are you able to look after yourself?
Yes.
They're okay now because they allowed you to do the fashion thing?
Yes, I mean,
are they happy? Are they are at peace?
They are at peace, and I think they continue to be as what do you call it, as encouraging. And first of all, I think right now my relationship with my parents is different because now we're in adulthood. So for them, how they've supported me in this season has been really amazing, because I didn't expect their support in that way. And I think it's small things, praying with me, having conversations with me where I don't understand things about life, about business, because they're both business people. and yeah, sitting with me in the process. That's what I've appreciated.
I love that, sitting with you in the process.
Yes.
That's what parents do.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so excited. Yes. So you must come back. So now you're going to do a smaller fashion film?
Yes, a small fashion film.
And then you do a bigger fashion film?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Which I am not aware of the timelines, because
okay.
God is the author of our times.
Amen. Thank you. God is the one who's not doing the time. Just relax.
Exactly.
Stop trying to run. We're walking.
It's fun to run though, but we accept.
It's fun to run, but we need to walk. Because also I think because other people will watch your process, so they learn from the process.
True.
So that's why we can't take shortcuts. You can't run. Because we're all walking.
Yes,
It's a journey of walking. We're all walking.
Exactly.
So that's important. But I've learned a lot from you even in these few minutes. I'm so excited about this. So we'll definitely have you back.
Thank you.
We'll share your Instagram social media page handle.
Yes.
So it has the jewelry.
It has the jewelry. It has a website about the information of the business and the process. And then it also has now a shop. So there's access to just buy it. So when you order, it comes to you.
And it's
with
all
messages.
It's these. And what about clothes? They used to do clothes.
Low key. How do I say? Not as big as the jewelry.
Right now we're here. This is the breaking down in the steps.
This is the breaking down.
Okay.
Yeah. Clothes we're coming back to.
Fashion film. Will you have to look for corporate sponsors?
Oh yes, yes, okay. Yes, I have.
Please, Watu, please. Say Jenny, please help her, support her in her vision.
I appreciate.
At least she's done. Now, when you asked, have you done one?
Oh, I've done a couple.
A couple.
Yeah. So now I have
just
experience.
Angie family, musiniangushe, please, tafadhali. Let's support. I didn't even know that was going to come there, but please let's support the young woman in her vision and in the fashion film and purposeful fashion.
Yeah.
I just love it. I love the story.
Thank you.
And I've been saying a lot that we're going to have you back. We definitely have to have you back because now we need to know what has happened in all that time.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome.
Yes.
You're really welcome.
Thank you.
Glad I met you.
Glad I met you too.